super hot, super hot, super hot, super hot.
Being an older gamer, I've definitely seen my fair share of first-person shooters. Like so many games before them, at launch, the main selling point of most new ones is often about how different, new, or innovative the games are. Usually, at worst, the changes are mostly a marketing gimmick with barely anything new, and at best, they've introduced a few new mechanics that change things very slightly. To be fair, most are aimed at the fast-paced multiplayer shooter crowd though, so I suppose there's not a lot to innovate when a lot of it has already been done in the past. Superhot feels like something completely different. This was not a game I was super keen to try, and admittedly, I only decided to check it out because it's been on my list for so long and it was short. I mean really short. Like at the time of writing this, I've put in about 3 hours total and I've finished the game. Now that's not to say there's not enough legs in it to keep you going, because it's definitely a unique experience. Having said that, most of it will be through replayable levels and challenges. Still, the time I did spend with this game made a pretty big impact. Now, starting off, there is definitely a story. It might not be super deep or spectacular, but there is definitely something there. Just don't come in expecting a long experience and I think you'll be good. Like, I think it's actually really impressive how much story they've been able to squeeze into it considering how short this game is and how few narrative elements there are. I think this whole coding and hacking vibe felt really well done, and personally, I got this whole Matrix or Hackerman vibe throughout the game. Almost like a different nerd language, which was just cool to see. Personally, what impressed me most is how the developers have really played to their own strengths with this title. The game is both self-aware and clever in how the story beats are delivered, and it really makes use of every tool they have. I mean, just looking through the menu, there are different clickable options that all lead somewhere. Even ones that will troll you.
Super hot, super hot.
When it comes to audio, I think it's one of those things that can have such a strong subconscious effect. Like, it's one aspect that you might not consciously think about when you're in the moment, but it's easily missed when it's not there. I mean, the sound effects are as expected, nothing crazy. And there's not really any musical score throughout, but that background white noise that's present during the missions just ties everything together. I feel like the whole experience would be vastly different if it was just dead silence. What I think is really interesting as well though is that the white noise really gives you that sense of time speeding up or slowing down. Unlike other shooters, this is another game that has no heads-up display, so it makes sense why they'd have to use other aspects like visual and audio cues to tell you what's going on. Now, moving on to the visuals, I think there's an unmistakable uniqueness to this game. It's undoubtedly confident in its own simple yet distinctive art style, and rightly so. I mean, the colour usage, though limited, easily shows off its best and most important bits. In terms of gameplay, it highlights exactly what the player needs to know or see, and nothing more. There are obviously different shades that adds to the depth and 3D effect as well, but naturally, because of the visual style, it's somewhat subdued. Having said that, the imagery and visual splendor is actually really striking and just a pleasure to look at. Maybe it's just me, but this whole atmosphere ended up reminding me a lot of Mirror's Edge, especially in terms of that bold color usage contrasting against the plain, more mellow background. Look, the graphics are obviously not epic in terms of sheer spectacle, but it's still very clean and artistic. In fact, there are moments where the visuals are so basic that it's actually ironically impressive how they've managed to achieve it. I mean, check this out. Like, ASCII art obviously isn't anything new, but combining it with the premise of this game just really impresses me because I haven't seen anything like this in a while. I mean, I think the last game in recent memory that had something similar to this was Return of the Obra Dinn, but I haven't even played that game yet. I think the visual design just really highlights the devs' ability to play to their own strengths. To be fair, this section actually gave me a bit of motion sickness, but it doesn't last long. It is still super creative in my opinion though.
Super hot. Super hot. Super.
Okay, gameplay. This is probably the most interesting one. Superhot's gameplay is what I would dub turn-based first-person shooter. It's like a first-person shooter, preset chess positions, and roguelikes combined. Like, you're thrown into predetermined scenarios with enemies that you have to kill, and as you do, more spawn in until you clear the room. The catch though is that time is tied to your movement. What that means is, nothing moves unless you do. So you're given the opportunity to plan out very carefully who you're killing first. But that means the enemies are able to move as you commit to each choice, so if you make a mistake or miss a shot, you're potentially stuck. And there are no checkpoints. It's a one run and done type scenario. Honestly, the gameplay loop is pretty phenomenal, and I think the replay value here is absolutely immense. There's a heap of challenges and an endless mode that I couldn't be bothered getting through, but I know some will love. I think it's the ideal game for those speedrunners or achievement hunter type gamers. I mean, you feel like John Wick or Neo from The Matrix with the plays you can end up pulling in this game. It's this thrilling and addictive Groundhog Day or Edge of Tomorrow type feel. Like that endless loop of live, die, repeat. I think what also impressed me is how tightly tuned it feels. Like, obviously you start off easy as you learn the mechanics, but as you near the end, you're literally one step away from dying and restarting. And boy can it get frustrating, but it's definitely worth it. Like, this concept is so refreshing yet familiar, and it's so cool that I'm shocked it's not been done before. This is really something that has to be experienced at least once, because this is a truly unique experience that I doubt you'll find anywhere else even in 2024. You can have action without the speed and still have it feel exciting and thrilling. I can't speak for the team's budget or ideas, but I actually feel like they could potentially do a sequel with procedural generation, which would make things really interesting. It'd add that extra level of chaos and random chance that could really get things going. As it is though, this is still an excellent experience. If If you're the type of gamer that heavily favors gameplay over anything else and is looking for a really unique take on the first-person shooter genre, then this is probably the game for you. I mean, it's like 2.5 or 3 hours long. That's what, an afternoon for most of you watching this? Look, in all seriousness, Superhot is genuinely one of the most unique experiences I've had in a first-person shooter in a very long time, and is definitely worth playing in 2024. If you've managed to sit through this whole video, thank you so much for watching. I'm still looking to upload a brand new video once a fortnight, but be sure to let me know what else you'd like to see in the comments. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully, I'll catch you in the next one.